Alright, Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey is a freak and we all knew this. He's doing things that have never been done before, but if you haven't gotten a chance to sit down and just, I don't know, casually watch every single Brandon Aubrey kickoff, you're in luck because I have done just that. My God, this dude is a menace. So, the best way to break it down is to kind of go game by game and see how he's just going to play mind games with our turners, okay? So, Brown, step on down. His first kick, he tries to hide his hand. He's kind of approaching from this normal step approach, but he still looks like he's trying to hide the ball of the day that he's been working on, and it's absolutely filthy. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a slider, but a kickoff. And I know I've had like 100 failed baseball metaphors on this channel, but look, this is the picture I'm referring to when I say it's a slider. So if it's wrong, don't blame me, blame this misleading picture. Now, notice how he's going to change his approach. He's much more shallow and sort of slicing it. He doesn't even hit it every time. Sometimes he lines up like this and just sort of hits what I'm going to call like a little dart into the end zone. Try to be from the 3-yard line to 3 deep in the end zone to keep them uncomfortable. But the first time that he hits the slider, they were not ready. And now, boom, you got a free touchback at the 20, which is huge. And the following one, he comes out and he just puts it over the guy's head. And then from the same steps and everything, again, he hits it. And just look at how disgusting this kick is, okay? It starts off in the middle of the field. He gets it all the way to like 6 yards outside the hash, then fades back to 2 yards outside the hash. And this may not seem like a lot, but given that this ball is flying at you on a rope, that is hell to track. And the result is the Browns returner doinks it off his chest, has to double catch it, gets tackled inside the 30-yard line, which is a net positive. The next two, he's just hitting these easier to catch little dart decision balls, putting one on the 2-yard line where the returner has to catch it while he's moving backwards, expecting these balls to kind of dive like the last kick, and it just never happens. And the next one, the returner is catching it and fielding it from inside his own end zone and trading in guaranteed touchbacks to get the ball barely back to the 25-yard line, which is a net positive. Once again, they're just forcing these returners to try to make decisions. And for the last one, he hits just another perfect slider. Look at how late the returner reacts to it. It should have ended in disaster, but he recovered pretty well, and the blocking was great, so they actually get it past the 30 for the first time of the day. But forcing a touchback, bouncing 2 off the returner's chest is enough to get other special teams coaches very wary. So as we step out to week 2, Saints step in to the field of pain. Now, look at this. His starting stance is the same as his first one for week 1. His approach on the first kick, now he's going to round into it instead of bowing into it. And for the first time of the regular season on tape, he hits the filthiest kickoff I think I've ever seen. This is up and down in 1.87 seconds. So tell me, who is going to be able to analyze, track, and get to the ball that fast? I'm going to tell you who can't do that. That's Taysom Hill. So bounces into the end zone and they get their second 20-yard line touchback, which is huge. And now he's just going to hit more decision balls. Kick them right between that 3-yard line and 3 deep into the end zone. Force them to make a decision. It looks like he's trying to keep everything to Taysom and keep it away from their main returner. And look at what this does. They're both lined up in the middle, waiting for Aubrey to approach the ball to make a move to get a favorable return. So Aubrey is just going to hit another dart, this time to the opposite side, all the way to the right. And there's just no way that anybody's going to be able to get there from the middle that fast. It's just perfect. So now he's just going to keep going back, hit him shallow, try to bait Taysom Hill to return it. They're just not going to bite. This is fine. This is exactly what they want. They either want Taysom to return it or no return at all. And hitting it 1 to 2 deep though, it's frustrating for return teams to have to just take a knee on those. But Aubrey is just not giving them a lot of choices here. Now we're gonna move on to the Ravens. These guys just don't know where to stand, and you can see them cheat forward to try to catch this one and then have to run backwards. And I'm curious to know what he was trying to hit on the second one. He misses it. You could tell because you see him looking down afterwards. That's his tell that he's not super happy. Okay, boom, hits the changeup on kick 3 to the off returner, baiting him to show what return they're going to run. They're not going to bite, so now he's going to hit a slider, and man, it is just right inside the end zone, but the returner likes what he sees and feels it cleanly, and it still should have been busted up pretty early, but the returner bounces outside to get it past the 30-yard line for only the second time this year. On to the Giants game. Opens up with a little dart, nothing special, and some great coverage. Turns out well for the boys, and he does the same thing kick 2, this time just playing it to the left. Clearly, Fassel, their special teams coordinator, just likes the matchup on the perimeter and wanted to kick the ball out to the numbers and force a return. But the other thing it does is it gets these returners used to the flight path of his dart. Now, look at this. It's almost identical to the corner dart all the way to the apex of the ball, so the returner is going to be fading to his left, getting ready to field this ball. But then, it's actually the slider, so now it's slicing back inside. The returner has to try to run back to try to field it, can't get to the ball cleanly, and suddenly it's on the ground, completely disrupting the return and sticking the Giants at the 20-yard line. So his final kick, with the assistance of a player tripping and a block in the back, they actually do get back to the 31-yard line. And if you want to know why I call these a decision ball, let's go to the Steelers game. Very first kick, a low line drive dart, and the returner doesn't read it right, okay? He is too close and fields it over his head, making contact at the 1. This could have been a touchback, but now he can't take a knee because he fields it at the 1, even though he has to step back to do it, and doesn't get back to the 30-yard line. They liked the result so much they ran it back. This time the Steelers returner makes a better play and fields it inside the end zone so he can kneel it out. So Aubrey darts one to the numbers, liking their coverage matchup, gets him down to 25 one more time, get one more dart. This time the Steelers were expecting it, so they get a bit of a return. So now the returners are comfortable with where these darts are going, and Aubrey, just look at how hard these things are to field. He's gonna hit the change up one more time. It's near the end of the game. This is a huge one, and look, the returners just physically cannot get to this ball because it looks so much like everything else that he's hitting, and just takes the nastiest dive and gets them pinned down inside the 20-yard line. So Aubrey going from the occasional bank or touchback to darting to the corners and hitting that switch up with the nastiest slider on a kickoff I've ever seen is exactly why everybody watching this video can be very happy that we do not return kickoffs against the Cowboys.